Hi, my name is Asa. Welcome to my little corner of the internet where I will talk about knitting and yarn and fibers and textiles, fabric, sewing, embroidery, dyes, the list goes on, all of the above. I am a big textile and fiber nerd and just wanted to have a little space to talk about all that kind of stuff and hopefully talk to other people about all that. Um, so I've been a knitter for I want to say the last 3 years, which has been a really fun adventure, especially living in the desert. I live in Phoenix, so it's not exactly the best spot to be making like super heavy wool sweaters. And learning to navigate different materials and stuff has been really cool, and trying to make all that work. And then I also sew. I've been sewing for a long time, about like 15 years. Mostly clothes and costumes. It's kind of my thing for myself. Done some cosplay, worked in theater, for a while, among other things. So yeah, I just love making things. I've done like historical costuming and all that. It's been a blast. I feel like this whole field really, scratches the creative itch, and it's just something I'm really passionate about. So I've thought about this for a long time about like, kind of making a space to talk about these things and making our own clothes. And a lot of people are more and more people I've seen are interested in that, and so I thought this could be a cool place for me to share knowledge that I have and have accumulated over the years through this practice and studies that I've gone through and all that, and hopefully learn some stuff from other people too, which should be very cool. So yeah, I am currently knitting. I'm working on my fall winter queue, which is basically the same season in Phoenix. It's 4 months of 75 degrees, 70 degrees. So it's not exactly winter in most places, but not that that will stop me from pursuing all my cozy knits. Dang nabbit. So yeah, currently, typically I'm a monaga knitter. I just get so excited about like finishing the thing that I'm like, I gotta start, and then it's just gotta see it through like as quickly as possible. I'm not interested in like the speed of what I'm doing. I know there's like the product knitter and the process knitter. I'm like, I enjoy the process, but it's not like I want to have more stuff. I'm just like so excited about wearing it that I guess in a way I'm more of the product end, because I'm like, okay, I just got to get through the process. I can like put it on, right? So typically I bring that energy to like one project at a time. But since winter is such a short time frame in Phoenix, I'm a little bit more eager to like churn some stuff out and hopefully finish everything so I actually can wear it in time, because summer will be here before you know it again. It's only like it's like 90 degrees now and it's October. So winter's still not quite here yet, but the great cooling has begun. So we're on our way, and I'm hoping to have the majority of these projects done by the time I'm like actually able to wear them. So the first thing I'm working on is the Shoujo Beret by Fran Lopez. Boyfriend's sneezing. But yeah, so Fran Lopez does a lot of really cool kawaii designs, like like fun anime inspired and like very cute. I don't want to say cutesy because that's not the word I would use, but yeah, just very kawaii, like girly kind of stuff, which is not really my vibe. I'm not a pastels girl. I'm like jewel tones, like like a power color kind of thing, is more my speed. But of course, that's the beauty of the patterns, is right. You can do whatever color you want to. So um, I'm really trying to work on making like a 80% me-made wardrobe. I think I'll draw the line at shoes. I probably will not ever be making my own shoes, but I wouldn't mind trying it. Um, and maybe not like underwear or like basic tees, like, but other things, yes. So um, I've been wanting to do some like anime inspired wardrobe elements, like if you know, but otherwise, if you don't know, you'd be like, oh, that's just like a cute shirt. So, yeah, sort of like an internally self gratifying kind of nod to like me being a lifelong lover of anime and manga. So yeah, all Fran Lopez's patterns are like that and they're so cute. So the shoujo beret is inspired by Cardcaptor Sakura's beret. And I was like, that is so cute. But the original pattern is pink, like a baby pink. And I'm like, I'm not a baby pink kind of girl, at least to wear, you know? It's a little too baby girl for my personal style. So I was like, well, let me like, it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to make it out of. But I was in LA a few weeks ago and I stopped at the little knittery and I found this. It is Lana Grossa Ecopuno is the yarn. It's like a fingering weight yarn. It's primarily cotton, but a little wool, a little alpaca. It's very soft. And I like this color again, sort of more the jewel tone. I believe this is Bordeaux is the color. So I am working on it. This is just the brim. I'm like progressing at a snail's pace, it feels like. I wish I was a faster knitter. But alas, here I am. It's just me trying to navigate all this. I chose not to put elastic inside because it's like stretchy enough. And yeah, I think I had to make some adjustments because I chose to do a, thinner weight yarn than what is recommended. I think the pattern uses like a worsted weight, but yeah, I just added a couple more stitches, try to do the math. Math is not my strong suit, but I've been trying to like be better about, actually taking the time to figure all that out. But yeah, so I think we're good. I think we're on the right track, and I'm excited to see this. I think it'll be very cute, and I thought it was a good like compliment to my hair color. So there's that project one. Then I am working on a holiday sweater set. So I wanted to make a Weasley sweater for me and then a matching one for my boyfriend for Christmas. It's dorky, but it's cute. So yeah, I got the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes wool, it's gonna be real toasty for us, but we might go up north, or elsewhere around Christmas time where it's significantly cooler. So I think we'll actually be able to wear these, even if we just turn on the AC to like, 60 in the house and like take a photo and I don't know, spend the day in our 55-degree house. Just make it work. I refuse to not actually wear this for the holidays at least once. So yeah, maybe our matching holiday sweaters is my goal. So yeah, I just started mine. As you can see, there's not a whole lot going on yet, which is typically why I don't do more than one project at a time because I feel like I get distracted and I'm like, oh, I've like done a little here and a little here and a little here, and I'm like, I haven't like made enough progress in anything. So yeah, I feel like I wanted to get everything going, and then I'll feel better about not having it be not started at all. But it may have the opposite effect where I'm just like staring at it and my eye starts twitching, being like, it's not done. It's not even close to being done. And like, look how much progress I haven't made, as opposed to the opposite. So I don't know if I'm setting myself up for failure there, but I've got time. And though it is two that I have to make, and I like panel the way the pattern is, like they're made in separate pieces and then you like stitch them together, which is not my favorite. I know they say it's better, like it's more durable and it's sturdier, and like as someone who has who sews, I'm like it's not that big a deal, but I have preferred like just doing things in like a raglan style in the round. Even like the drop shoulder style is fine, but I don't know, it's just I just prefer, I have a preference. It's not like I'm against it, I won't not do it, but if I didn't have to I wouldn't be mad. So yeah, I got Wool of the Andes for the Weezy sweaters, and I think it's Wineberry Heather is this colorway, and then I got one skein of pumpkin for the letters. So there's that. And then I also realized a huge gap in my wardrobe is that I do not own a cardigan, and I am a librarian by day, and I feel like that's kind of committing a crime to like not even own a cardigan in general, but especially as a librarian. So I was like, okay, well, let's like work on finding a cardigan. So I am using the pattern I saw and liked. I'm like, let's change it up to something that's like a little bit more interesting than just like cardigan. The old straightforward cardigan. And I found the Anker's cardigan by Petite Knit. I've only just recently made my first Petite Knit pattern, which was fine. It was very straightforward. I made the cloud sweater in like the clover colorway from Knitting for Olive. which is beautiful. And it's so soft and it's so green. Like it's so green. And I was like, I really want like a green sweater, like a sprout, like a vegetable, you know? I was like, this is the green I want. It looks, again, fantastic with my hair color. Like it's such a fun contrast. And I'm like, it's so green. But yeah, so I finished that recently and it was my first petite knit pattern. Not that I'm anti petite knit or like holding off. I know petite knit is very popular and my favorite things, etc. I want to say it's my favorite knits because when I say my favorite things, I think of the Julio Torres stand-up special, and I'm like, wait, am I talking about the right thing? But yeah, I haven't made any patterns from my favorite things, but maybe I will at some point. I don't know. The Scandi style is cool, but I'm more of a maximalist at heart. I like things to be funky and interesting if I'm going to spend the time on the materials and like, you know, the labor. I want it to be unique and special, which by nature it is anyway, but like, you know, something a little extra, right? Like just a plain sweater is just not really my style. It's got to have a little something, and maybe that's the yarn itself, but I don't know. I have my preferences. So looking at a lot of like the Scandinavian style, I'm like, unless we're going like crazy color work, like a lot of it's just kind of like meh, which is cool. It's just not really my bag. So, but I did see the petite knit cloud sweater pattern a while ago, and I was like, okay, like maybe just having like one basic like that, and obviously like choosing a color that I like feel really pops for me would be a nice middle ground to have at least like one basic sweater. So I made that and it was great. Instructions were easy, pattern was very nicely put together and all. So I saw the Unkers cardigan and I was like, okay, like I feel like I could have the same expectation and so far so good. I just making it in lace weight, which I did myself constantly. Cause I'm like, oh, you're getting more for less, right? I'm like, oh, I don't have to buy as much yarn. I can just like, you know, buy 2 or 3 skeins of like something reasonable and, you know, get what I need. But of course, it's just takes so much longer than like a thicker yarn. And I do it to myself. But so I decided to make it out of Cascade Heritage. It's the highlighter guava and it is pink. It is pink. And I'm not mad at it. I actually really love it. At first I was like, is it too pink? And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, never. So yeah, it is very, very pink. And I love that. And yeah, it was just really, I thought about maybe, like, because for each of the ribbed sections, I was like, well, maybe I do like one section in the highlighter guava and then get like a lighter pink, like the tutu color, and like, you know, alternate sections that way to have like a more intense pink and then, you know, a softer pink and just kind of have the highlighter guava as more of like an accent color. But I was like, no, like I'm just gonna do this color the whole way through and just be like pink explosion, highlighter explosion. So yeah, I've gotten to the point of like separating the sleeves and it. Yeah, now we're starting on the body. I don't love knitting flat, but and I know you, I guess you could steek it and all that stuff, but I'm not ready for that. I don't wanna, not yet. I'm sure we'll get there eventually. And I was just like, I'll just make it work and just knit flat and we'll get there. So yeah, this has been really fun though. Again, just time consuming. And so I'm just, when I have the stamina and headspace, like I'll pick that one up because I'm going back and forth forever. But otherwise, I'm like, okay, the hat's, you know, smaller, more of a quick win, I hope. And then I'll get back to like the body stuff. And lastly, I've got this other vintage pattern I'm working on called Soft. Well, it was titled when I bought it on Etsy, Soft as a Spider's Web. I don't know what it's called in the original magazine, but it's basically like a, just from the photo, it looks like maybe the 40s, mid to late 40s, possibly early 50s, based on the style. It's got like a really nice, like sharp cinched waist. It's really cute, and it's black and it's got like a spider web cowl design, which I'm like, me. So I've been really wanting to make it. It's been sitting in my purchases for like many moons now, probably since I started knitting because I got too excited and I was like, let me just, that looks so cute, I'm gonna make that. not realizing, how older patterns were made for knitting. I've done older like sewing patterns, but never really an older, like a vintage knitting pattern. So it's, as many of you know, like kind of a different ball game, and having to adjust needle sizes and gauge and all that has been an adventure. I tried making a vintage knitting pattern last summer for this like tank top I saw and thinking like this is so cute, and my hubris got the better of me because it just turned out a mess. I didn't really consider like the needle size conversion, thinking like, oh, I'll just like, I see it, I'll eyeball it and Frankenstein it together, and I kind of did, but the fit was all off, and I was like, there's no way to make this work without it looking like a hot mess. So yeah, I set that one aside, and I'll probably have to frog it and start over. But thankfully, it's a tank top, so we'll figure it out. But this one, I'm like, okay, let's try to do this the right way, so don't waste our time because it's a lot more going on. And it's almost like a quarter sleeve, sort of fitted sweater, and it's got 7 inches of ribbing at the bottom, and it's paneled, right? So it's front, back, sleeves, neck, and yeah. But the needle size is like size 1 for the ribbing and 2 for the body. I've never worked on needles so small before. This is all I have going at the moment. This is, we'll say, the front panel. It's taking forever. Again, I do it to myself. I keep choosing these things using fingering weight, and I'm like, but it's cheaper. Which, I like, yeah, I don't have $1 million to like spend on these crazy things, as much as I would love to. But yeah, it's like I still want to get it done, and this is also Cascade Heritage. I ride hard for Cascade. It's affordable, reasonably priced. I made the Lummy sweater earlier this year in Cascade 220. Pills a little bit or a fair amount, but I have that little sweater shaver thing, and it works fine. So I'm not hating. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm hoping desperately to get, at the very least, the Weasley sweaters and the Shoujo beret done by Christmas. I mean more so the sweaters, because I'm like, the sweater I have to make two, and one of them in a larger size. So yeah, we'll see. I hope so. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's my projects at the moment. Maybe pick up one or two more sewing projects along the way, just to like break it up, and not just be locked into knitting. I am going to a spin fest, a spin in fest. Not an in fest, spin hyphen in, like a spin in, at my local yarn store this afternoon, because I learned to spin recently, and I made my own, like, I took like a yarn blending class a few months ago, and it has taken me those few months to like even get through a portion of all that fiber. I got a drop spindle because I'd love to have a spinning wheel one day, but they cost a not an insignificant amount of money. So eventually I will get my own spinning wheel, but in the interim, I was like, okay, drop spindle's a good, like, first intro into spinning kind of tool. And people have been doing drop spindles for thousands of years. So I was like, okay, if it's good enough for my ancestors, it's good enough for me. And yeah, I've been working on that, and just, but trying to have like the time and place to work on spinning is challenging when I'm like trying to juggle 50 million craft projects at a time, like we do. So yeah, it's going to be really nice, I think, to have like some designated time set aside at the yarn store to just like sit and we're spinning, and that is what we're doing. Like, take a break from the knitting. I will not be taking a break from my wrist, unfortunately. I'm trying to be better about that because I really don't want to get like an RSI or like a wrist injury from like being an absolute maniac. But cool. Well, hopefully you join me on my little saga, my journey of working on making my own clothes and my own wardrobe, whether it's knit or sewing or maybe even spinning and weaving eventually, like my own fabric, would be super cool. I've been really wanting to try like coming up with designs and prints to get my own fabric printed. Because again, like, the more customized, the better. Like, I know what I want and I know what I like. That's the hard part about fabric, right? Because it's like okay, I have it up here, I have the vision, but the chances of you finding the exact thing you want, if it's something specific, it's like next to none. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just have to make it myself, which has kind of been my approach for the last however many years. So, well, I'll catch you next time, and thanks for joining me.